Authors Unplugged. I'm so glad you could join us. This week we have USA Today bestselling authors Alexa Aston and Mary Lancaster. Ladies, thank you for joining us. And it looks like Mary froze already again. Oh, rats.
I
Oh, no,
think
here
I'm
she
going to
is.
get flung out again.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let Mary go very quickly so that she has a chance to talk about her book. It's A Constant Blaze. It's the second book in the Last Flames of Alba series. And Mary, go ahead. This is the go ahead, Mary signal that we previously agreed on.
Hi. Yep, it's a Constant Blaze and all about Malcolm Macbeth, who was actually the father of the hero in Rebellion Spire. And yeah, he's been in prison for 20 years. So
Oh, my.
he's not just a young man anymore, but he's been separated from his wife for 20 odd years. So it's kind of difficult. He's in prison, and then his son is betrayed and ends up in prison with him. And then his wife hatches this plan to get them both out. And then it sort of all stems from there. Then they have to meet up and remember who each other are and how that they still love each other underneath it all. So it's yeah, I enjoyed it because it's a different kind of a story. I just wondered what would happen if people who had been separated for that long finally got together again. Would you still feel?
Whoops.
Yeah, I think we lost her, but I love the setup for that. That kind of almost second chance of it. I love that never ended kind of thing. Is just what a lovely thought. So great. Well, that is A Constant Blaze, and that's the second book in the Last Flames of Alba. And the covers for those are gorgeous. They're like all fiery, it's just like
They are.
I love it every time we get to see them. So I'm afraid we've lost Mary. Hopefully she'll have a chance to pop back in because I did a new Publishers Marketplace announcement. There she is. Can you hear us? Oh, she's gone again.
Technology is great when it works.
Really, like it really is. Every time I sit down to do this, I think, which one's it going to be this time? But,
You're a bit of a saint.
Yeah. But no, it's no, I'm really looking forward to that one. That sounds delightful. So, and then there's one more book in that series, I believe, afterwards. Is that right, Mary? She can't hear me.
Yes, Burning Embers is book 3, and it takes place about 50 years later. And it's Adam's granddaughter who's the heroine of that.
Oh.
It's a little bit different again, but yeah, it finishes the story of the Macbeth family. For me, anyway.
Oh, I love that. And we complain about the technology, but you're very far away from us. So the fact that the three of us can all talk is kind of neat, even if it might not be smooth all the time.
Yes, anyway.
Well, Alexa, I got to actually meet you in person at HRR last week, where I was just like a squealy fangirl over all the Dragonblade authors. It was so much fun. I had a blast there, and it was so nice to actually get to hug you in person.
Yes. It was great. It really was. I had a terrific time. And y'all, our survey, they asked the best part of the con. And I know they were thinking workshops or the balls. And I was like, it was meeting all of my fellow Dragonblade people, the people that you interact with online and send emails to and everything. Just like you said, just that face-to-face hug, one-on-one. It was amazing. It really was.
Yeah. And our team got to sit around in the same room and drink champagne together, which doesn't ever happen, instead of that.
Maybe we should do that during our little noon chats. Maybe if we just pop the bubbly each time, who knows where these chats might go.
I'm not sure that the library is going to be cool with that. I mean, we can try. They are, like librarians are the coolest people on the planet. Librarians and teachers are the coolest people on the planet. And the friends of the library are pretty cool too, but I'm not sure. But your book that came out on Tuesday is Valued by the Viscount, and that's the Second Sons of London series, and it's book 6, so that we only get one more in that series. Is that right?
That's right. And readers have really been wanting this book. Viscount Boxeline, I have done that man wrong. He has gone after 2 different heroines in books 3
No,
through 5.
oh, poor lamb.
Struck out twice because he was not meant to be the hero, but he was sweet. He was meant to be a secondary character. He was never meant to have his own book, but he was so sweet and so charming, and he's just a good guy. He's one of these former rogues who just kind of was enjoying sowing his oats until his dad passed away and he inherited the viscountcy. And all of a sudden, the estate's a mess. He had to grow up pretty fast. And he has things in pretty good order now, but he's lacking something in his life, a companion, someone to share everything with. And so he's gone after 2 of the other heroines, and it's kind of been, you're a sweet guy, but. So it was time for Lord Boxeline to get his HEA, and he gets it. And thank goodness he's there for Vanessa. She's such a mess. She's a widow. She was forced to marry this guy over a gambling debt. He was decades older than she was. And she's been living in the dower house during her year of mourning. And the year of mourning is up, and she just feels this burden lifted and freedom until the new person who owns the title kicks her out of the dower house and off the estate. So she's pretty much at her rope's end and meets him, and they're just meant to be soulmates.
Oh, yay. Oh, well, that sounds like so much fun. That I love the story where the hero is not quite who you expected him to be,
Mm-hmm. Well, and also sometimes when the hero falls first. I have done that several times during this series, and Vanessa's very gun shy, and even the first time he kisses her, he wants a lot more out of that kiss, but he knows, back off. She's very frightened of men and just the experiences in life, and he's afraid she's like a turtle and will pop her head back in the shell and never come out again. So he treads softly and sweetly, and then we get some passion. So
see, those are all the things we love.
Yes,
those are all the things we love. Well, I'm excited that Mary's back, because I have done Publishers Marketplace announcements for both of you this week for a brand new series. So would you, since we're just one book out for both of you and ending the series you're working on, would you like to talk about what's coming up next?
You go first, Mary.
We jinxed her.
Oh my gosh, she is frozen.
Yep, we jinxed her. Oh, now she's back.
She's like that butterfly landing that you're trying to get the picture of, and she's flitting around.
Just don't look directly at her. We're just going to So,
Am I
Mary,
there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your next series that's coming out?
Are you hearing me? Yeah.
Yes. Oi.
The next series is called The Jewel, and it's another Regency series centered all around a duel, and the people who are involved in the duel, the opponents and their seconds, and the doctor concerned, and all the people it affects, because somebody dies in the duel, and then so there's a bit of a fuss about that. And anyway, they all end up at Waterloo. So that's where the story.
There's often a bit of fuss when somebody dies. It seems pretty much unavoidable. It sounded when I was reading the description, it sounded like there was a little bit more mystery. Is that right? Is there a little bit more mystery in this one?
We need to hold up cue cards.
I know.
I'm sorry, which one?
I'm going to start to show up with
Jewel.
Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. That's okay. So, Alexa, you have a new series too. that.
Yes, I do. It's 8 books. It's called Suddenly a Duke. And so it really kind of has 2 premises. Coming from the hero's point of view, it's men who weren't expected to hold the title, and they now are dukes. And so they're a little bit unprepared for that new position in society. And on the opposite side, from the heroines, they are very inappropriate wives, shall I say, for a duke to have. And once again, many of them are from the upper classes, but it's the occupations they hold. One is a composer and musician. One's a portrait artist. One trains dogs. One is a hat maker. The final one is not from society. She's actually the only female Bow Street runner at that point. And she actually appears in a couple of the books prior to that, solving a few mysteries. So it's basically men who aren't meant to be dukes who fall for women whom the ton does not believe is suitable for them. But of course, soulmates, you can't keep them apart.
Oh, that sounds great. And I love that we're getting another Unexpected Duke series from you. It's like the whole idea of the son that didn't expect to be titled.
Well, I like that fish out of water experience. And in fact, one of the ladies, she actually trains men like this. Think back to something like Downton Abbey, when Matthew kind of comes into his title kind of thing. It's some people that don't necessarily walk that world. And then all of a sudden they find themselves immersed in that world, which they either know very little about or they have no liking for it. And yet here they are, not just a part of it, but they're at the top echelon of it, being dukes. So, of course, as a history teacher, former history teacher in another life, I know England was not populated with all of these dukes. I know there were only a handful of them, but, readers, they just let you run with it. So they're going to get 8 new dukes from me next year.
Look, I expect when you tell me that events happened, that they actually happened. And I expect that when you use actual characters, that the actual characters happen. I expect that when you tell me that people dressed a certain way or ate a certain way, that I can trust that. The rest of it, I'm perfectly willing to. I
try to stay true, to that history. I really do. And I try to just dribble bits and pieces, of manners and customs and historical events and actual historical figures and all. So, it's one of those. I hope people read the books and enjoy them and they're swept away by the romance. But I also hope they come away and they know a couple of tidbits that they didn't know before about the era.
The funny thing is, I didn't like history in school, which is weird because I love stories. I love stories. Mm-hmm. And I often think that if my history teachers had taught us through stories, not only would I have retained the information better, but I would have had the context to be able to place things in line, because I have no concept of linear time that way. I can't.
Yes. And that's kind of what I did. I mean, I taught that, these big historical names and figures we know and love, they were just ordinary people. They were just like you and me, but they were thrown many times into extraordinary circumstances, and they just rose to the challenge. Their leadership and various qualities came forward, and that's who we know them as today because of what they accomplished. But history's the story of people. And like I said, that's why after teaching, moving into writing, it was just a natural segue for me, especially having taught history. I just gobble up all the research. I'll do research on a topic, and then I'm able to sprinkle that research in various books. I've researched the Napoleonic Wars and balls and foods and customs, and then just, dribble bits and pieces of it all along different books.
I think Mary's going to take us to Waterloo, so Yeah, no,
I love it.
I love that, and I love the kind of universal nature of people's feelings. Their love for their children, their love for their family, their sense of duty, their sense of obligation and responsibility, and then a chance to find a partner. Someone who really sees you. To love. So no, it's I wish I would have had a different perspective if I'd had a teacher like you that had given the context that way, because there's stories. We have one more release this week. Emily E.K. Murdoch has the first book in her 12 Days of Christmas series, 12 Drummers Drumming, comes out this week. She has a book releasing once a week, and then she has another book releasing in the DePetra saga next week. So she decided rather than show up every week, she would skip and join us next week when she's got 2 releases in the same week. So we're gonna. I'll go ahead and pop her book in the chat, because it is the beginning of a new series. So if we don't have a Christmas collection this year, the way we often do. We have a winter collection, but not a Christmas collection. So if you're one of those people who likes to kind of, ease into Christmas and have little tastes all the time, that this might be something for you. It is Dragonblade Flame line, so I should warn you that it's spicy. So yeah, but we have one of those coming every week. Then I'll make sure that the links are in the chat so you can find that. Ladies, do either of you have books in the Midnight Requiem, the Ghostly Hour collection?
No, I don't.
And what about
do have from last year's Halloween collection? That novella is on pre-order now as a separate standalone. It's called The Bridge to Love.
You do, Mary, you do, yeah. So we'll be having parties in the Facebook group for both last year's collection of novellas, and those are all going to be available on the 31st of this month on actual Halloween. And then the Midnight Requiem, this year's Halloween collection goes live on the 25th of October. So there will be all kinds of spooky Dragonblade stuff for everyone this month. Before we get ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have plenty. We have ghost stories aplenty. So. And I like my spooky stuff in bits. So spooky novellas to me work much better than like straightforward horror, or really, really scary bits. I want a chance to recover in between, because I'm a bit of a lightweight that way. So there should be lots of choices for that. So we talked a little bit about what's coming up, and I know I've talked to both of you about writing before. Alexa, what was your favorite part, aside from having a chance to meet the Dragonblade team? What was your favorite part about HRR? That was your first HRR, wasn't it?
It was, and it will be crazy coming out of this tomboy's mouth, putting on those pretty gowns.
Right.
I have never dressed like that in my life. Oh my gosh, I had a different gown Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was a thrill to dress up like that. And I mean, I actually felt like some of my heroines, and the gowns were amazing. Period Images does that. And a lot of my covers, Dara Albert, my cover artist, has used period image couples. And so it was just so fun to work with them. They're very easy to work with. VJ Dunraven handles that. And I felt like a princess every day, just wandering the halls of the hotel in my finery.
Yeah, and needing to have help getting into your dresses.
Oh, gosh.
Sean and I
understand now, and I write scenes. I always have the maid helping and everything. And boy, I really understand now all about that lacing and this and that. And yeah.
It was every time we went to get ready for something, I'd end up in our hotel room. It was like, hey, what needs to be laced now?
But it was fun. It was fun to be able to, wear the stuff, meet fellow authors, not only from Dragonblade, but some others that were there. Yeah, they had different workshops that we went to, and I was able to read from Valued by the Viscount, and it just, the readers were lovely. So it was a nice time, because I've been pretty much a hermit ever since the pandemic started. I haven't gone very many places. I've just been in my writing cave. And so to be out there, visiting with people I've had relationships with online for several years now, and looking good as I did it, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that part too, and it was my first HR, and also the first time I've been to a conference like that where there are writers and readers so closely together, and that was so much fun seeing everybody get excited about books. And I spent the signing kind of moving back and forth between the Dragonblade authors to make sure everybody had what they needed, but watching everybody with their big tote bags full of books was fantastic. It was even better when they brought their husband and loaded him down with tote bags full of books.
Yes.
And so they got to do the signing, and there behind them was a man with bags. So that part was really cool, was getting to see the the readers and watching them get excited, meeting their favorite authors was really cool too.
Absolutely.
And there was the point in the ball where the period images models came in dressed in their breeches and their coats, and it was like, the boys are here, the boys are here, the boys are here.
Yes.
Thing kind of shifted that way, which was very much fun. So.
I got my picture made with 4 of them, and all 4 of them have been on different covers of mine before. So it was fun seeing those covers come to life in a ballroom.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dancing and getting to see what everybody's wearing. Like you said, the dresses that was so much fun. Because when else do you get to do that? And next year, I'm going to get a tiara. I had just a little headband thing, but I'm going to go full on tiara next year. Because like it's the only time in my life where anybody is ever going to let me wear one. So I might get one, different colors and such. But no, it was great fun, and it was great fun to meet the Dragonblade crew and talk to everybody about what's coming up and planning for next year. We have so many things. There's so many new books and so many new series coming up this year and 2023, and I'm getting announcements for 2024 already too. So there are so many good things coming at Dragonblade. So that part is really great. So we're heading into fall here, and I've been craving like I was listening to Killers of a Certain Age, the new Deanna Rayburn book, and she was talking about making stuffed apple pancakes, and I've been having like these apple cinnamon cravings. Is it getting towards fall where you are? I know, Alexa, it's probably still pretty hot.
It is, but it's not triple digits anymore. This morning it was like 58 when I walked and did my plotting and writing. Mm-hmm. So I write every day and I talk into my phone. I just dictate. So by the time I get home, I've got at least a rough chapter and all. So, it's heating up to mid 80s, but it's much, much better weather. So, and of course around Halloween, we usually just get a cold snap right then. Mm-hmm. That's my birthday. And I mean, I remember even as a kid having a costume and my mom wanting me to put a sweater or coat over my costume when I went to trick or treat. I mean, I was the hard hit. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want people to see that I'm a vampire and have the flowing gown and the fangs in, or whatever. So, but yeah, we do have a little bit of a break here now.
Mary, what about you? Are you having? I'm not even sure what the weather is like where you are.
It's getting a wee bit colder now. It's there's some of the leaves are falling off, but not too many yet. It's been quite warm this summer for Scotland, but it's definitely getting clear now. A bit wetter too.
If it's going to be chilly, I'm perfectly fine with it also being kind of a little cold and rainy too. Not snow, not icy, just snuggle weather.
Yes, light the fire, have the hot tea, wear the sweatpants. I'm all about it.
So I had my first pumpkin Starbucks drink, which was
that's quite good.
Well, this one was not my favorite. It was just weird because I love pumpkin stuff. It was a pumpkin latte, and it was not my favorite. So I'm wondering if there's anything. I love hot apple cider too. Is there anything in particular, anything you look forward to when it starts to get chilly out?
Football for me. I mean, our house, football weather, and then walking. Like I said, I walk every day. I don't care how hot it is, but I prefer walking when it's a lot cooler. So,
Mary, what about you?
Cold weather. But my husband really likes the snow, so he keeps praying for snow and get really angry when it's always snows all around the place, but never snows where we are. So he gets grumpy about that, which is always quite fun. But,
grumpy husbands are not fun.
tell him you're going to put him in a book.
Watching the dog gallop through it, that's always fun. Because he's so wee that his little legs just...
Oh,
well, they can be.
Oh my. So we talked a little bit about what's coming up for you ladies, is there anything in particular before the end of the year that you're working on? I know you both have new series, but you also each have books in the existing series that are still coming.
Yes, I have the last in the current series, Second Sons of London, and that comes out November 16th. It's called Meant for the Marquis. And on the same day, I have a Christmas novella set coming out. And these will be 4 previously released Christmas novellas just put together in a box set. So there'll be 2 from the St. Clairs, 1 from Soldiers and Soulmates, and 1 from My Knights of Honor. And that's on pre-order now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. That one looks really lovely.
Love the cover. Oh, it's just gorgeous.
I do too. Yeah. What about you, Mary? When is the last Flames book coming for us?
Next month, November. And that'll be me for a few months, and then the duel starts the February, I think, in 23.
Yeah, I think I had winter 2023 on my calendar for that one. So cool.
Yeah, I start in February too. February's been a good month for me the last few years. I think the last 4 years, maybe 5, I've started a new series in February. I think readers just kind of need some downtime in January. They just need to kind of get over the holidays and get back into things. And I think by February they're ready to read.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We're busy, like we're busy with kids, we're busy with family, we're busy with all the other things that have to happen. That it takes a break before you have a chance to recover and get back to reading. So
the important stuff, yeah.
The important stuff, yeah. Awesome. Well, ladies, it was such a joy to talk to you today. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the background noise. I'm at the library, and I don't know if I mentioned it's $4 book sale day, which is like I already filled up 1 bag. I have another bag in the car. There's a better than average chance I'm going to make 1 more lap because I got a Kathleen Woodowis. There's Joanna Lindsay. It's like I found all of I fell in love with romance reading the 10-cent novels that were in the box at the library underneath the table in chemistry class because he didn't like chemistry class very much. I hid it under the soapstone table and read when I was supposed to be doing other things. And so this was just, there was like just a lovely little nostalgic walk through the library today. So I'm going to do it again and get myself another box. But I do apologize for the noise in the background while we've been recording because it's a little bit more than normal. Mary, I'm glad your signal worked out and you could stay with us. And it was so nice to talk to both of you and find out what's going on. I was really tickled when I saw 2 new series and 2 new like long series. That part was very cool. I got those announcements this week and it was very cool. So we're looking forward to all the things that are coming up with Dragonblade. As always, I'll put the links in the comment. If you haven't gotten your books, you want to grab them now. Dragonblade books are the best price on pre-order and release. They are such a deal. They are every bit as good as the $4 book sale at the library because you can pick them up, or they're available in Kindle Unlimited as well. So you can get a Kindle Unlimited subscription. So, ladies, thanks for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Good seeing everyone. Bye-bye.
And we'll see you next week, same time.